No worries. $17.95 premium potty mix. It's a total bargain, mate. This will be the best $17.95 you've ever spent in your life. Oh. This is a professional mix designed to feed your plants for over 12 months. It's only $17.95. I'm sorry? Yeah, I don't mind though. I'm used to it by now. $17.95. Can't beat that, mate. Use your legs, not your back. Those beef organ supplements will help get you swole. Okay, $17.95. Here we go, mate. Yeah! They don't have any Mexicans here, so white men do manual labor in Australia. We're going to get fired. I'm working for my brother. So how about the Cowboys? They won 3 in a row, mate. Oh! 3 in a row for the Cowboys. And Australia's won the first 2 Ashes Test cricket matches. I could get you some bargains here. Yeah, the defense is great, but what the hell happened to the Cowboys' offense, mate? If Luke was fleeing some huge investigation in California, he's just not coming back. I got nothing to fear, mate, because I'm a law-abiding citizen. So they just brought in a mask mandate here in Queensland. They've got a mask mandate. I got one in my pocket, but you don't have to wear one as long as you're outdoors. But if I go inside, then I'm supposed to pop one on. It's only the second time we've ever had mask mandates here in Tenem Sands. So a bit annoying when you're doing this intense labor, but I'm a law-abiding citizen, so they're only getting about 40 COVID cases a day in Queensland. They're getting about 2,500 a day in New South Wales, about 1,500 a day in Victoria. But they're afraid of a big Omicron outbreak here in Queensland. But in Queensland, we're outdoors so much, and it's got so much humidity that not much COVID in Queensland, like very, very little. So I was having lunch, and then this rally of mine who's not Jewish started talking to me about, all the different brachas. What's the blessing that you have to say? Like when you're eating lychee and when you're eating watermelon, or when you're eating, a dish with meat and potatoes and beans, and, what order do you say the blessings? She knew so much about Judaism because she's been watching This American Life or listening to the podcast. Like her favorite podcast is Jewish. So I'm not sure she's ever met a Jew. There may have been one Jewish kid at Tenem Sands High School. So I got 5 days after I came to Queensland, I was required to test. So I've had 3 negative COVID tests in Australia. I haven't had to pay for one. Got them all free on the government. So we say Merry Chrissy here.
Oh, what's happened, bro? You've slowed up a bit.
No, I'm just paying attention to the details, mate. Oh, you better get that, mate. Wait, where's my pen? My pen.
Your pen's there.
Oh, foolish me, I'm in error. So I think there's one kibbutznik here in Tanham Sands, Boyne Island. Whoa! I want to tip this young man for how hard he's working. He's really hustling, breaking his back out there. Thanks, Ricardo. I can't believe it. This is my first super chat in Australia. After all this premium live content, like I've paid out $200 to do these live streams, and good on you, mate. Really appreciate it, and nothing wrong with some hard work. He says Jews can't do manual labor. Getting in touch with my Goyish side. Okay. Oof. I've been playing some epic cricket matches with my brother. Like, he made a diving catch. He caught the ball about 2 inches off the ground. I was smacking one through the covers. Oh, what's that? Another one. I want to tip the young man. Can't get this on network TV. Oh, I met this bloke, look, total Aussie, missing his front teeth, like bronzed. I wanted to ask him if he had a YouTube channel, but the people would have thought I was just taking the piss out of him. I don't know why everyone thinks I'm just taking the piss out of people, and I don't get that, because that's not a piss taker. I'm a fair dinkum. Undercover boss. Yeah, he was such a fair dinkum Aussie, no front teeth, like 60 years old, looked like he'd been working outside his whole life. But I don't want to offend the customers. I don't want to get fired. I made $200 for my first day's work. And it's legal. I got my Aussie tax ID number. So nothing underhanded, nothing dodgy, mate. This is all fair dinkum. Okay. The boss isn't here right now, so we can just talk amongst ourselves. $17.95. So it's about 92 degrees. So it's been about 90 degrees the last 8 days I've been here. And the water, swimming in the Tanham Sands beach, it's 80 degrees. So the water's about 74 in the Gold Coast, and it's about 68 in Sydney. But here it's 80 degrees. The ocean water temperature is bath water. And I get the premium angles. Welcome to Tanham Sands. $17.95. It's a bargain. I made $5 from my live stream. They wanted to encourage this young man with his diligent work ethic.
I'll lift it up a bit so you don't have to lift quite so low.
I'm not afraid of a little lifting. Undercover boss. That's right. People pay money for this kind of premium entertainment, right? $5 just for some fair dinkum, high quality, original Aussie entertainment.
Nearly as good as Outback Ringers, eh?
Oh yeah, have you guys seen Outback Ringers? It's really top telly, mate.
Look it up.
Yeah, Outback Ringers. It's about these people who chase down buffalo in the outback. It's on the ABC Outback Ringers.
Far more entertaining than this.
No! This has got more intellectual content. Been eating so much fruit when I'm here, lychees, mangoes, watermelon. Normally I don't eat much fruit. I've been eating about 4 mangoes a day. Yeah. 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 My brother's 64, but except for his left hip, he's got the body of a 58-year-old man. You should have seen this catch he made in the
You
slips.
still love me? You still need me?
When I'm 64. My brother just turned 64. My sister's 66. And I'm a very young 55. Oh boy, that was a mistake. Okay.
Right up, right?
Right up.
Don't worry with any more because we'll get them. I'll get them from this thing.
You gotta be systematic here, mate. You just can't. Oh, fuck! You can't just throw things around higgly-piggly. You saw that? That was definitely a workers' comp claim. Oh.
Okay, we done there.
Okay, where next?
Drink the water and we'll sit down.
Okay. Time for a drink of water and a sit down. Hunting some Danish flags. Bow and arrow hunting will be the next step. Luke does even lift, bro. Oh, fuck! I just saying after some hard manual labor is the honest to goodness reward. I used to play for the soccer team, Tandem Sands, Boyne Island Bits. No funny business going on here, mate. Yeah, people think I don't lift. Oh man, after.
Hello, John. How are you?
Hey, good day. Oh man. So all the conservative politicians here, they're all talking about the need for personal responsibility instead of more mask mandates. So the left, Labour Party, is down with more government intrusion, government regulation, mask mandates. And the conservatives, they just talk about personal responsibility. Like the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, the Premier of New South Wales, they're all talking about personal responsibility. not sure personal responsibility is gonna cut it when it comes to a pandemic. Oh. So we call Christmas Chrissy here. So people are getting off work here. Everyone gets minimum 4 weeks holiday a year. Got 5 live viewers, mate. My brother's not impressed by my 5 live viewers. So many of the states here just had a complete cut-off on any even internal Australian travel. So West Australia has basically been locked down for the past 2 years. West Australia is supposed to open up in about 6 weeks. So West Australia has been shut down from the rest of Australia for about 21 months. Queensland was shut down for about 6 months. Just opened up about 10 days ago. I got through. Had to get a negative COVID test within 72 hours of crossing the border. Then 5 days after I crossed the border into Queensland. So I've had 3 COVID tests in Australia, and the government paid for all of them. They're all PCR tests, which would cost me 150, 180. I bought them myself in America. So about 4 days after I landed, I got a text message from the New South Wales Health Department demanding that I go in to get a COVID test. So I've had 3 negative COVID tests here and a negative COVID test before I left. So I think most Australians are broadly supportive of the restrictions and the mask mandates. Queensland's had a Premier Labor government, which is centre-left government for the past few years. There's very little crime around here. So someone comes and gets like a couple of bags of fertilizer. You don't have to check them out. They just put it in their truck, and then they come around to the cash register and tell you how much they took, because it's fair dinkum here. People are level. So Tennant Sands, Boyne Island's about 95% white. So there is a Catholic school near here, like primary school, elementary school, through to high school. And then there's going to be a Pentecostal high school here. Like a bunch of churches in Tennant Sands: Catholic Church, Anglican Church, Pentecostal Church. I think they call themselves City Church. So I think only like 3-4% of Aussies go to church every week, but there's so many churches when you're driving around. They were going to put a mosque into Gladstone, but that never came off. More proof that Luke isn't an Ashkenazi Jew. Bro, I converted to Ashkenazi. I identify as Ashkenazi. I'm a trans Jew. I'm a trans Ashkenazi Jew. So it's very communal. It's kind of an attitude of cutting down tall poppies. So no one seems to be into gurus. I haven't met any gurus or anyone into gurus in Australia. It's much more of an American thing, I think, because America's much more success-oriented and individualistic, and it's like more optimistic. So I don't think Australia is as pessimistic as England, but it's definitely not as optimistic and not nearly as enthusiastic as America. So Americans tend to be very enthusiastic, very open with their emotions. They talk more than Aussies. Aussies tend to be restrained. Oh, there's a nice cool breeze. Comes off the ocean about 3 p.m. Yeah, very few life coaches in Australia. And people don't talk about my therapist says, my psychiatrist says, my life coach says. So self-help is not such a big deal here. Like if you got a problem, you have your mates. So what they do have here is a great sense of mateship. Like, oh, g'day, mate. It's like just a bond between blokes in Australia. It's like an easygoing bond, and once you make a mate, like, you'll do anything for your mate, and your mate will do anything for you. So when you got mates, you don't need a therapist as much, or a life coach, or a guru. You don't need to outshine them, right? You just want to get along with your mates. And they're having a hard time cooking for me. I'm a vegetarian who doesn't like vegetables. I don't like meat, don't eat fish.
But you do have more, do you?
So I was explaining my favorite food is Mexican and Italian, like lasagna and pizza. Vegetarian lasagna, vegetarian pizza. No vegetables. And tacos, tostados, nachos, burritos, enchiladas. And then smoothies. So you've got protein powder in it, it's healthy. Lots of smoothies and ice cream. Protein bars. Lots of good quality protein bars, very reasonably priced here. So things seem to be a little more expensive here. So I went into a shop to try to buy chewing gum, and I asked how much chewing gum can I get for $6, and I could only get 2 packs. And I had to buy just a regular bottle of water, cost $4.50. So there's this Afghan mob in Sydney that been committing a bunch of murders. It's been in the news. It's just another job that Australians won't do. So the drug trade is largely Lebanese and Afghans and Lebos, Afghans, and some Italian Australians. So busy day at the garden centre. Everyone's buying plants and stuff for Chrissy. So they had this floaty thing, bouncy castle that floated away in Tasmania. I got hit by a gust of wind, went up in the air with kids inside, and all these kids fell 10 meters, which is like 30 feet, and 6 have died. So that's been the big news in Australia. We're going to have an election in about 6 months. So right now, the centre-left Labor Party has got to be favoured. But even if they win, it should be a narrow win. So maybe decided in Queensland. So overall, Australians are pro-green, but the central Queensland economy where I am depends heavily on mining and fossil fuels. So Labor lost the last election on that basis. The Queenslanders voted for the Conservative coalition. So we should have an election in the next 6 months. So they call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe over here. They're not real impressed with Joe Biden. But not much of a culture war over here, and people don't fight that much over politics or hot button, issues like abortion or trans. About 70% of the country voted for gay marriage. About 75% of New South Wales voted for, the right to die. So the Conservatives and the religious opposed it, but about 75% of the state voted for the right to die. So best book about Australia is The Lucky Country by Donald Horne. It doesn't mean it as a compliment. It says that Australia's been lucky rather than good fortune. So he talks about Australian politicians are mediocre. Our leaders are mediocre. The Aussies just want meat to barbecue and drink beer, go to the beach, watch some cricket. So sport mad. Aussies lose more money per person on gambling than I think any other country. So gambling is a big problem here.
Thank you very much.
Very relaxing here. No worries, mate.
quick dry.
Yep.